And this is a nice little, I would say, warm-up for them before wrestling in-state rival Ryder tomorrow. And, of course, as you mentioned before, getting into the meat of that Big Ten schedule, Penn is one of these high-quality teams that you're definitely going to see on your schedule.
Starting out at 149, Andy Troczynski slated to go against Michael Cetta. And this is starting off with one that is meaningful. We talked about those lighter weights really maybe setting the tone for this, but we have to wait a while for that. So Rutgers looking to jump out in front of Penn early on here with Cetta.
Chetta's one of these guys that Rutgers really likes. You know, he's only a redshirt sophomore, 6-4 on the season. You know, they brought in a guy, Jacob Butler, a grad transfer from Oklahoma. He was slated to be the guy. A little banged up right now, but Chetta's a guy that really high on the big depth piece for them over the past couple of years. But I would say the same thing goes for Andy Troczynski, only a sophomore for Penn, and pretty evenly matched on paper here.
Listed at 5-3 for his record, 6-3 for Cetta, and Cetta immediately getting into it against Troczynski here.
Saw Troczynski shoot right off the whistle, and that was good defense by Cetta.
Troczynski going for the toss here. Cetta once again sprawling, defending here. Rutgers in the white singlets, Penn in the red and blue.
That was a good recovery by Cetta. If he can hit back into Troczynski, might be able to turn the Penn wrestler to his back.
First strike there for Rutgers. Cetta comes up with it. First three of this bout. Troczynski working from the bottom.
If you're Troczynski right now, don't want to be stuck on your base. Want to start peeling at those hands, start standing up as he is right now. But you see Cetta, a good mat return going out of bounds here.
Back to the center they go. Just about a minute elapsed in this opening bout. Roger Reyna, the head coach of Penn Wrestling, his 24th year leading the Quakers. Scott Goodale in his 17th year leading Rutgers. Rutgers with 7 grapplers in the top 30 of their weight class. Troczynski pushed out once again.
That was a good job by Cetta to follow. You're not going to be able to do that the entire first period. It's not sustainable, especially if Troczynski's able to get back to his feet that fast. And if he's able to run away, if you're Cetta, you either have to cut him loose or get a nice mat return within the circle and start controlling him on the mat.
Troczynski trying to work his way free. It's an underhook on the leg temporarily, but Cetta doing a nice job of maintaining his advantage on top.
This is a good ride by Cetta. Unfortunately, Troczynski, for Cetta at least, is tripoded up right now. But you see Cetta trying to get those legs laced around the left leg. It's a beautiful mat return as well.
All Cetta in the early going here. 1:15 to go in period number 1. Starting out at 149 in this duel. Cetta continuing to stay busy on top. Troczynski trying to get that leg free. And he does. He turns him. And a takedown for Troczynski. Nice reversal there for Troczynski to cut it to 3-2.
There's a nice reversal there by Troczynski. Good job by Cetta to get belly down right there. Otherwise, he could have been stuck on his back. But now you see what Troczynski can do on top right here. See if he can finish the period on top. Try to cut back into that riding time.
Troczynski will work from the top for the first time in this one. You mentioned the energy expenditure from Cetta chasing Troczynski around, and also that explosive mat return in the center of the ring. Only has to survive for 32 more seconds in this opening round, but we'll see if Troczynski tries to get something going here.
Cetta immediately to his feet, see him trying to cut at the hands, but Troczynski throwing that right boot in, making it very heavy on the hips. He's going to watch his back here as well. Cetta can try to catch the neck here for a pin, maybe a defensive pin.
10 seconds left in this one.
4 seconds. 3, 2.
Stoppage here with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, they're going to hit Troczynski with that stall. He was hanging on the head right there. And again, they're really going to hammer home this season that the additions to that stalling rule, it used to be just the legs. Now it's any limb. You hang on there for 5 seconds. You're going to see the official start counting out right there. They will reset it there. So that's the first stall warning right there for Troczynski.
That's how the first period goes. A 3-2 advantage for Cetta and Rutgers. But that period just about split in half. Cetta will start out on the bottom.
Let's go.
I think there's an issue with the riding time over there, Joe. It says on the scoreboard right now 2:22 in favor of Troczynski, but Cetta rode out most of that period, so I think they're just looking for the correction on that riding time over there.
Not sure that Cetta had 2:22 of riding time himself, though. Do you feel like
No, I don't
the
even
color off? Or?
I don't think Troczynski had 20. I think they meant 22 seconds in favor of Troczynski right there,
Now
because
we're
Cetta was
talking.
definitely over a minute.
That is what they change it to.
Well, it's definitely not 4:08 because we did not wrestle for 4 minutes yet either.
It's a new year for everybody, Nick.
It is. Even in 2024, we should go back to the stopwatch.
Tell me this newfangled technology thing's not working out. 3-2 the lead for Cetta. Look for a quick escape. Cetta nearly able to get free of Troczynski. Troczynski gets back out in time.
And they're having clock issues on them, as you see by our graphic on the screen. 9 seconds went off. They fixed the riding time, but they only ran 1 second off the actual mat side clock. So, hate to talk more about the clock than the actual wrestling so far. As Cetta did a nice job getting right to his feet. As you see, Troczynski was able to foul him out of bounds before he ended up cutting loose towards the boundary.
So officials trying to get that all sorted out. Both wrestlers getting a break here.
The all rare break during the match for collegiate wrestling. Usually don't see this too often.
Hey, in your hands, baby. Let's go.
Troczynski, to me, Joe, is a guy who's not afraid to hit these big moves, but he's a little hesitant to pull the trigger. Wasn't hesitant, obviously, in that first period, but I think because he was not able to catch Cetta off guard there, he has to do a little regrouping right now, trailing by a point.
Is there any gun shyness when you nearly get caught yourself in, like you said, defensive pin situation? Look out here, big turn for Troczynski, but an escape instead for Cetta. That was disaster averted for Rutgers.
Cetta did a nice job getting his hips back towards the mat, able to escape. It's a bit of a risky move right there, especially when you're trying to go towards that boot to escape, but otherwise Cetta using good hips, good strength, and now back to neutral, up by 2.
.120 left here in period number 2. A lot of hand fighting now, and this is something we haven't seen a whole lot of in this bout. Shot there is shut down by Troczynski.
And Cetta's shooting from distance a little bit there. You see Troczynski trying to fight back with inside position. I would hope people are used to it by now. A couple months into the season, but then that 3-point takedown, the rule change this year. Last year this was, hey, if Troczynski gets the takedown here, he could tie the match, and you would hope for Penn's sake, get the ride out here, try to keep its tie, but obviously a takedown could put him ahead now.
Are you a fan of the rule change?
So far, it hasn't really made too much of a difference in my eyes, but I think it has impacted the scoring, at least in terms of higher scoring. Maybe you see some quicker tech falls as well. I think it gives the trailing wrestler a better opportunity to try to get back into the match, and I think they at least the NCAA wants to make the three-point takedown as, hey, we're going to reward you a little bit more for doing something that's very difficult, which is actually taking these guys down.
5 seconds left in the period.
3, 2, 1, time.
Will the third decide it? Or has Cetta done enough already?
2 minutes can be a lot of time here. And that riding time, which is actually now fixed on the mat side clock, only in favor of 20 seconds for Cetta. So it's not a factor at this point. Got to see what the strategy is here. Again, 2-point lead right now. Don't want to rest on it. Got to see what he can do on top. He was able to ride him quite a bit before.
Mat return here for Cetta. Back points here as well. Big time trouble for Troczynski, but he rolls back over. 4 back points, though, awarded to Cetta.
That was huge for Cetta. Good mat return, able to basically just trip Troczynski right to his back. But a good job by Troczynski to be able to get belly down. Otherwise, Cetta was working up for a half Nelson. Would have been able to stick him.
Another big-time mat return from Cetta. We saw that in the first period.
The strength is evident right now for Cetta. And if you're Troczynski, you want to start scooting up to your base, as he did right there, out of bounds, though. Start working for that escape. Again, an escape and a takedown, you're only down by 2, Joe. And again, for a match like this, where even if you lose some of these individual bouts, certain tiebreakers, you could come down to criteria where, hey, maybe it's about how many points you scored individually up and down the lineup.
Troczynski trying to free himself from Cetta. Cetta still has the leg. Nicely done there by Cetta to stuff out that escape attempt from Troczynski.
I've noticed Cetta, this is about my 3rd or 4th count, roughly seeing him wrestle in this individual bout, Joe. He's throwing his boots in, mostly that left leg, hooking it around Troczynski. It's really taking him off balance, able to really put some heavy weight down on that foot as well as that hip. And Troczynski's having a tough time staying on his feet or even able to build up past his base and his tripod.
Cetta grabbing onto that leg once again. And Troczynski gets loose, but still plenty of work to do. Down 5 with 49 seconds left.
Remember, Troczynski still has a stall call on him, so 1 more, and that's a point for Cetta. And he does have the riding time point at the moment, 129 in favor of Cetta. Another takedown. We're looking at major decision territory for the Scarlet Knights.
See if Cetta goes for that with 30 seconds left. There's a shot there right on that 30-second mark.
That's good defense by Troczynski. And again, you don't want to be totally defensive. You want to be a little offensive here, not get hit for stalling. You want to save bonus points at this point if you're not going to be able to gut out a win.
Rutgers wants to stall here. With 10 seconds left, they'll just be stood up.
Still enough time for a takedown for Cetta, so you have to be careful if you're Troczynski. Don't stay on your heels too much.
Cetta going, looking for that back leg.
3, 2, 1.
Troczynski sprawls, hangs on, but it's a 9-3 decision for Cetta.
Rutgers leads Penn 3-0.
It's a good match by Michael Cetta. Getting it done for the Scarlet Knights. Troczynski had his moments there, Joe. Had an opportunity maybe for a big move early on, but the Scarlet Knights just a little too stout defensively. And the Scarlet Knights off to a good start. Penn could answer, though, here. We have another ranked matchup coming up right here, 157. These are 2 guys that are definitely familiar.